Are you a healthcare professional who is nervous about using social media? Or are you an avid poster who's never given much thought to how social media could damage your career? Well, we've seen the headlines of healthcare professionals who've made blunders, and those blunders have made it to headlines or they've cost them their job. So I'm Dr. Ty, and I'm here to give you 7 tips on how to stay out of social media jail. Now, with so much bad information out there related to health and wellness, my mission as a brand and media coach is to teach doctors and health professionals how to effectively share health information with the public and with each other. And you can't do that if you're locked in social media jail, can you? So if you like this content, please hit subscribe. Also hit the bell to be notified because I'm going to be posting new videos every single week. So click that when you get a chance. I was working as a freelance reporter back when Facebook and Twitter first started. So I have had to navigate a media and social media presence during my whole career as a physician journalist, even when I worked for conservative entities as a doctor who had restrictive policies regarding social media. So there is a way to preserve your brands using social media and still stay out of trouble with your bosses. Tip 1. Separate your personal and professional accounts. Please, I'm begging you, make your personal account private or post under an alias. Keep it limited to friends and family with whom you have a personal relationship, and do not accept friend requests from coworkers or classmates. For example, if you look at Facebook, look at these posts. So this is an example from my personal page. And you can see that some of these posts have a globe. That means that the whole world can see it, right? And then this other post has the 2 little men. Those are limited to the friends that follow you and maybe the friends of the people that you tagged in that post. So only post things that have this globe on it if you need for it to be public. Now on Instagram, for example, you can just make your account private and only accept the people that you want to see your post. On LinkedIn, all this is less of an issue because most of your posts on LinkedIn are going to be professional based anyway. But please take heed to this. This is like the #1 place where people get things screwed up. So I'm begging you, please just keep the 2 accounts separate. If you want to be above ground and post things professionally, separate that from your personal account. Tip number 2, ask yourself, could this be taken out of context? We know that most health professionals are not going to blatantly post HIPAA protected information. But what about the stuff that's left up to interpretation? So this is a post from 5 years ago. A nurse posted the aftermath of a trauma bay on Instagram and entitled it Man versus 6 Train. No patient information was posted, but she was fired. According to the nurse, she reported that she was fired not for violating HIPAA or hospital policy, but for being insensitive to the tragedy itself. And then just this year, a physician posted, quote, ready for your well woman exam on his social media page, which was not well received either. He also posted a few other things that caught his hospital's eye, which then led to him making a public apology on his social media outlets before canceling them. And this anesthesiologist posts were dug up after he had a malpractice suit filed against him. He posted on Facebook during a case, and again, his privacy settings were not on, see that globe, and then they tried to paint a picture that he was distracted during his cases. And here's one more example before we move on to the next tip. This was a post some years ago. This is from an OBGYN. And here's the first problem. She did not make it private. There's the globe again. The second problem is a layperson saw it and reposted it with comments stating, quote, she should not be allowed to work with patients if she callously talked about them on her own Facebook page, end quote, and discussed going to hospital leadership. The third problem is that these folks commenting on this post here, some also doctors, probably don't realize the next point I'm going to make, which is careful with comments on your friends' pages and in groups. So because the post was public, so are the comments underneath. So even if you follow my instructions to the T and your page is completely private, but then you leave controversial comments on a friend's post, you're still exposed. Likewise, do not ever consider any Facebook groups private. Even if there's a supposed pact that no one will share the information, it never fails that someone's post gets screenshot and sent to someone outside of that group, either to a coworker, someone's boss, or even reposted publicly. Yes, even in a Facebook group of professionals, this can happen. So we have 4 more tips left, but here's a reminder of what we're actually trying to protect with these tips, okay? Your reputation, your brand, your future employment, your current employment, the patients who trust and utilize your practice, and of course, your medical license. And after all of these cautionary tales, if you're starting to question, why should I bother with social media again? Don't hesitate to check out my video on the 5 reasons why you should. Tip number 4, remember that online lives forever. I already talked about how easily posts can be screenshot and shared, but there are also automated bots and web crawlers whose job is to crawl the internet looking for certain keywords and reposting them on other sites. So even though you may have come to your senses and deleted a questionable post, it can still live forever on those websites. So please think before you post. Tip number 5, avoid posting unflattering opinions or photos. Okay, this is a PSA for our younger physician colleagues who grew up with social media. Please do a sweep of your accounts ASAP. What are you looking for? You're looking for old posts of drunken birthday bashes and silly pranks from high school or college, and either delete it or make your page private until you can get it together. For everyone else, always ask yourself, if the CEO of my hospital or my boss saw this photograph, would I be okay? If this photo was shown at the end of grand rounds for all to see, would I be embarrassed? If the answer is yes to either of those, then do not post it on a public forum, period. Same with political views and opinions. If it's not something you would feel comfortable saying out loud at a work function or on a microphone, don't post it publicly, because that is exactly what you are doing. Again, an easy way to deal with this is to post your private stuff with all your private opinions with your private circle, and all your professional doctor stuff on your professional page. Oh, and please watch who or what is in the background of your photos before you post, especially those weird angles that mirrors can show. Please scour it before you post it. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever Googled yourself and found things online, particularly photos that you didn't even know were there, and more importantly, that you didn't like that were there? What did you do? Let me know in the comments below, because I want to hear about your experiences. Now for tip number 6. Don't use too many details. There was a case about a decade ago where a doctor posted about a trauma case that she took care of. She did not post any identifiable information, but because the doc was in a small town and she posted just enough information, the case was recognizable by a third party. The doctor was fired from the hospital and reprimanded by the state medical board. And here's another post that just has too much information in it. Quote, today between the hours of 11 and 3 p.m., I had 18 patients who attempted suicide or had suicidal thoughts. This is a major issue, end quote. Again, it's noble that she wants to shed light on a growing concern in healthcare, but if I can decipher where this health professional works and I have a friend or family member who just went to that ER during that time, I might have questions for them. Like, is that why you really went to the ER? It's just too risky. She could have said the same thing by writing something like, I'm seeing an uptick of patients in my ER who are considering suicide. This is a major issue. Or maybe you write, the number of patients who have come to our ER this year for suicidal thoughts or attempts have doubled this year. Or anything of the sort. But the point is, you can still protect patients' privacy by writing it without all the details. And this also applies to teaching cases. Sometimes we post things that we want medical students or other colleagues to learn from. But we don't have to put every single detail about the patient or the case if it's not relevant to the teaching point. Maybe you leave out gender, maybe you leave out age, maybe you leave out the fact that they have 5 children at home, and just focus on what aspect of that case needs to be presented to get the point across. Tip number 7, do not give medical advice online. I know, by going on air or on social media as an expert, this is not black and white, but you have to do your best. For example, there may be opportunities to do live Q&As about a particular medical topic, or someone may simply direct message you on social media about a health condition. It's okay to answer, but for either the Q&A or the DM, make sure that you preface the conversation with, I am not your physician, so I do not know all the details, but generally speaking, and continue to explain or answer the question. To be even clearer, you may want to kindly suggest at the end of the answer that the person in question see their primary care doctor or specialist for further discussions. I would also avoid speculating about celebrity health conditions as well. You can again say that you are not their physician, so generally speaking, this is your opinion with respect to that disease. But reporters will still sometimes ask, news reports say that so-and-so died of heat exhaustion. Did that likely come from his or her alleged drug use? If you did take care of that celebrity, just say no to the HIPAA violation, right? We're done. But if you didn't, and you have no knowledge of the specific case, then you should say so. And absolutely do not give the impression that you have inside information. Because next you'll be the headline as Dr. So-and-so says that celebrity number 477 died from drug abuse. If it's a written column, you can use the same tips, but also put a disclaimer at the bottom of that post or the blog that says this is for educational purposes only, and this does not constitute a physician-patient relationship. Tell me, did this video make you think differently about what to post on social media? If so, please give us a like on this video down below and let me know in the comments which tip was the most helpful to you. As a thank you for watching, I want to give you guys a copy of my social media 101 tip sheet that gives you prompts and ideas on what you can post on different social media outlets. So just click the link below, and then once you get to that landing page, put in your email address, and shortly after check your inbox for the download. And if you're on Facebook, come join our group, Dr. Tyeese Branding for Docs, if you want to share with other docs who are also learning to build their brands. There's more weekly content coming, so hit subscribe, hit the bell so you'll be notified, and stay tuned to my channel next week. Also check out these related videos in the Branding for Doctors series for more tips. See you all soon.